I made $3,800 in 2 days as a beginner using this roadmap I'm going to show you here. But getting there was an uphill battle. So I'm going to show you exactly what I did and how to avoid my mistakes so you can do the same without all the pain and struggle I had. Because when I was 19, I started learning copywriting here on YouTube, and to be honest, I found it hard. I had no job and only 6 months to make this work because I needed to save £3,000 for university the following year. So I had to go into overdrive if I was going to hit this number. Now, the first question I needed to figure out was, how do you learn something like this and make money with it in just a couple of months? I'd spend 10 hours a day absorbing everything I could about copywriting. I was watching YouTube videos, reading books, taking courses, you name it. I was a hungry wee bastard back then. This shit was hard, bro, I won't lie, but that's what it takes to go from a nobody to a somebody in this world. So, ready to make my name in the world, I started practicing like a madman. I would straight up rewrite sales letters by hand into a book just to ingrain copy into my mind. And so as I started practicing, the next question I had was, how do I know the copy that I'm writing is good? Well, this is kind of where I messed up. I submitted my copy to different marketing forums around the internet, and that was a shit idea. Bro, if you've never browsed r/copywriting, I strongly suggest you keep it that way. It is one of the most solemn, depressing internet marketing forums I have ever seen. The people in there all pose themselves as experts, but if they had any clue how to write well-paid copy, they certainly wouldn't have the time to hang out on a free online marketing forum. What I should have done was focus on getting some money together and joining an actual paid coaching program for copywriters. That way I could get actual verified expert feedback rather than just some mom's basement commenter who thinks he knows everything. Now, I myself do have a paid coaching community right now with experts in there, but we only accept a small amount of people per month. So if you don't want to join that, I still recommend you join a paid community where at least you have to apply to get in. That way the people in the community have at least been vetted by someone who's an expert. And for the love of Christ, please do not post your stuff on Reddit. Now back to the story. Obviously at the time I didn't have a paid community to join. I should have done that, but I didn't. So how did I do it? Well, basically I started submitting my copy to the business owners, which I just assumed was okay, and I just saw how they performed for their business. The problem was they didn't perform that great because honestly, I didn't really know what I was doing. This is probably the worst thing you can do as a beginner because it severely slows down your progress, and it definitely slowed my progress down at the start. But eventually I started getting better. So this is where I hit step 2 of our plan. I needed to start getting clients. And again, the next question was, how do I get clients without having any experience? So I figured this out in an interesting way that actually ended up getting me like $3,000 clients every month. And it was way before Alex Hormozy's books were out about how to get clients, how to build offers, all that stuff. At the time, I just sat and looked at the options I had, and I was aware of 3 potential ways I could get clients for my business. I could A, do cold outreach, B, run paid ads, or C, create content. And since I didn't have any money to run paid ads, I was left with the other 2 options. Now, I'd been smashing out a lot of cold emails to business owners in the first few months of my copywriting journey, but it wasn't working out that well. All I was doing was scraping different websites manually, like by hand, and then offering my copywriting services. The reason it didn't work was because I wasn't very organized and I wasn't very good at sending out emails. I had a couple of decent emails that worked and got me some clients, but in general, it wasn't a very good system. All of these things can now be automated, but it was like I was trying to build a 6-figure business in the same way a monkey's trying to start a fire, but all he's doing is rubbing 2 sticks together. I started to see success a lot more when I did it through cold DMs. Mostly because I was able to have a lot faster conversations with people and see where I was going wrong when I tried to sell people. I wasn't waiting for like 2 days for an email back from a business owner to then realize that my first email was terrible. I chose communities of e-commerce owners for my outreach, so I'd reach out to owners of e-com businesses and just start a conversation in the DMs. And so I was closing a couple of clients by this stage, but nothing that was making me any real money. I really wanted to close a client that was like over $3,000. And that brings us to step 3, leveraging your skills. So this is where the story gets interesting. I mentioned that I couldn't do paid ads and I was already doing some cold outreach, but there was one method that I hadn't tried. I think you understand it, but before I reveal what it is, you need to understand something. I grew up and was living in a house with my parents in a small village in rural Ireland. When you live there, nobody lifts their head up above everyone else and tries to do anything out of the ordinary. So what I was about to do to attract clients was absolutely scaring the shit out of me. I was going to start making videos with my face in them and putting them online. This genuinely gave me so much anxiety because I knew that everyone in my life would see the videos and probably take the piss out of me for it. But I knew that I had to make this work, and this was the only existing client acquisition method that I hadn't tried and my only chance of really getting those high paid clients. Now, let me share what my plan was for getting clients through video content. For the last few years, I'd been seeing people like Graham Stephan blow up on YouTube by making finance content in an interesting way. Now, he had been doing it on YouTube, and if you tried to do it on YouTube yourself, it was really difficult to break into that niche at that point. So what I decided was I'm going to have a look at TikTok, because TikTok had started to pop off in early 2020, and I thought, hey, nobody's doing good personal finance content on TikTok, so maybe I should give that a go. So I decided I'm going to make videos about marketing, business, personal finance, and I'll call myself Money with Matt. That way, if I could make videos about these topics and they got a lot of views, I would draw a lot of attention to myself as somebody who knows how to make content that gets views in the finance niche. Because this is such a boring niche that if you're able to go viral in it, you're obviously demonstrating that one, you're a good copywriter, and two, you have access to an audience of people who are interested in finance content, which is like a really high paid niche. So I started pumping out a video every single day about personal finance or business or marketing, along with the work that I was doing with my one-to-one clients. And that's when it began to happen. I started receiving emails from clients who wanted to work with me. I didn't have to reach out to them, and they were all wealthy finance companies who wanted to reach a younger audience. At the beginning, I wasn't making a whole lot of money. It was like $100 per project, but then they started coming in a little bit more consistently, and all I was doing was writing a script for an ad that they would give to an influencer who would then post it and like promote their app or whatever it was. They wanted somebody who could write in a way that appealed to young people, but what they sold wasn't something that young people typically bought. In other words, I became a key player with these finance companies in opening up opportunities where they could work with young people. And I was just giving them a huge opportunity to reach an audience that they weren't able to do themselves. I know what you're thinking. How does this relate to you making $3,800 in 2 days as a beginner? Well, we're getting very close to that. So as time went on, I started to work with bigger and bigger clients. It might be $1,000 here, $1,500 there. I actually wrote a lot of ads for like huge companies like Panasonic, BBC, Warner Brothers, Burger King, even TikTok themselves. And then I got the email. One of my clients was a massive financial tech brand in the UK who'd been making like tens or even hundreds of millions of dollars a year. And the contact for that company that I had was a guy who was running all of their paid ads. He told me that for every £100 they paid me for a script, they would use that script with over £150,000 in ad spend. I actually felt sick, I'm not gonna lie. I realized that I was getting paid absolute pennies by these guys, and it was gonna be a very long time before I made decent money if I continued like this. So from that day on, I turned down pretty much any project that was under like $2,000, because in my head I thought, okay, if I want to get to 6 figures, that's about $8,000 a month. So if I get 4 clients at $2,000, that's $8,000. Combine that with the other copywriting clients I was getting, and I was well on my way to getting 6 figures a year. Shortly after that, I got an email. It was some other big fintech company, which I legally cannot name due to an NDA from our contract, but they offer me $2,000 for a single video ad. I was like, okay, sweet, we are on the way to getting that 8 grand a month. If I get 3 more clients like this at 2K, we're there. But then I thought, if they're gonna pay me 2 grand, how much money are they gonna run in ad spend behind this video? And I decided, fuck it. I'm gonna upsell them and only do the project if they accept 3 videos. The price in my head was $3,500. I hopped on the call, my heart was absolutely racing. I tell them, okay, I'm only gonna do the project if you can take 3 videos. How much do you wanna pay me? And obviously I was expecting $3,500. The guy just takes a second and he's like, I think we can do 3,800. And so in the most undramatic way ever, I landed the biggest client of all time. And within 2 days, I had got the contract signed, produced all the work, and everything was delivered. I saw the money coming into my account. I was literally so hyped. So yeah, getting clients is the hardest thing when it comes to making money online. But luckily for you, I found a brand new method for copywriters to close clients as a beginner, and this video explains the full strategy.